Today is Wednesday, September 24th, 2014, and Joe Turner and myself, Judy Meyer, at the library, the Bridgeton Trails Library, talking to Eleanor Denton. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, you did.
Well, Eleanor, thank you for meeting with us, and I have never met you before, and neither has Joe. So we have a lot to learn about you. So if you wouldn't mind, let's start with us asking, where were you born?
I was born in Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas.
Where is Manhattan, Kansas?
Between Topeka and Salina, Kansas.
And how long did you live there?
About 6 months.
Oh, okay.
My mom was a school teacher there.
Oh.
And when the school teaching term was up, we moved to St. Charles because my dad was from that area.
I see.
And my mom had a sister in St. Charles, and we lived with them for a few months till we got a house.
Where in St. Charles did you live?
On 3rd Street.
Oh, okay.
The house is long gone.
Oh, uh-huh. Did you go to school in St. Charles then?
No, I went to grade school, kindergarten to 1st grade at Pattonville.
Oh,
And then transferred to St. Gregory's when my sister was old enough to go with me. We took the bus to St. Gregory's.
Was that the Pattonville grade school on Fifi
Yes,
Road?
on Fifi.
Okay.
well now, I guess we're jumping ahead of ourselves. So you were living in St. Charles, but then you moved on this side of the river.
Yes, when I was about 3 or 4, we moved over here.
Then where did you live here?
St. Charles Rock Road, right at the corner of Lambert and St. Charles Rock Road.
On the corner of St. Charles, Rocker, and Limburg. Now that kind of is where Northwest Plaza is on one corner.
Right. But we lived on the corner where Tiletown used to be. Lazy Boy is now.
Oh, like Caddy Corner
Yes,
from
yes.
Northwest Plaza. All right. And that's where now the Schnucks and Home Depot is.
Yes, yes.
And there was a house there.
Several houses.
Well, you know, when you see, of course, the Schnucks and Home Depot and International Pancake House, you tend to forget that it wasn't always like that.
Right.
Excuse me. That was a shock. Thank you.
So there were several houses there on that corner.
Yes, there was Sneed's. Their last name was Sneed. They were the first house, closest to Lambert. And there was our house. There was a little dirt road, they called Railroad Avenue.
Railroad Avenue.
Uh-huh. And then Dr. Hengen's house was next.
Dr.
Hengen,
Hengen.
Hengen. He had a practice in the house.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
General practitioner?
Yes, yeah. He moved here 5, 10 years after we did. There was another family by the name of Strawn that when we first moved there.
Now, was Limburg, the avenue, was Limburg built then?
Yes, yes. I don't think it had been completed for too long, but it was already there.
Okay. And how was St. Charles Rock Road? What do you remember about St. Charles Rock Road?
It was a major highway going to California.
Oh.
Many trucks.
Wow. So it was pretty busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
One time, Grant's Farm was hauling horses to our area, not where they were, but anyway, they hit our mailbox.
Oh,
And
really?
they stopped and we got to talk to them for a while. I don't know if they fixed the mailbox or what happened, but because of the major highway, it was Highway 40, I guess.
Wow.
It was, going west. So it was busy.
Now, you say that you did go to grade school for a while there in Pattonville.
Yes.
And what was it called?
It was just Pattonville Grade School
And where was it?
on Fifi Road.
On Fifi. Can you give us a little bit more location?
Well, right, it wasn't very far from Branicki's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On the same side of Fifi
It
that
was.
Brannicky is on?
Yes, and then they built it that newer school, which was the Educational Employees Credit Union, had been a school building, but that was after I.
Across the street?
Yes, yeah. The old building that I went to was on the opposite side of the street, by Branicki's.
I see. Well, we have talked to a few people that did go to that Pattonville grade school. And so you started off in kindergarten there?
Yes, yes.
Was kindergarten a half a day when you went?
Oh, yeah, yes. It was a lot of fun. We had good times.
What do you think of it as such a good time?
We really liked the teacher.
Oh.
I can't remember her name now, Rose something, but she was so nice. We just had the best time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Now remember they had a naughty bench.
A naughty bench.
Yeah, you must behave, kids. sit out in the hall on this little naughty bench.
Oh, was that embarrassing?
I suppose.
But you were never on the
I
naughty
don't think
bench?
so. I
No.
don't recall. But it got worse when we went to the principal's office.
Uh-oh.
That was bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, did you walk to school?
Yes, yeah.
Wasn't too far
Oh,
from
no, because we just lived probably a block and a half or something down the rock road.
And Brannicky was there, Brannicky Hardware was
There
there.
was Brannicky Hardware, Brannicky Grocery, and the post office. They had all three places.
All in one.
Yes, and there was a dry goods. They had a dry goods part in the post office.
Wow. Must have been a very convenient place.
Oh, it was. It was. For a while, we got our mail there. A lot of the neighbors would go up every day. We had a mailbox, so our mail was delivered. And we didn't move, but our address changed 3 or 4 times. It went from Overland to Robertson to Bridgeton Terrace, and finally to Bridgeton.
Really? All in one
Right, we
location?
never moved, but their address changed.
That's interesting.
Was Elvira Biedenstein in charge of the mail when you?
I think she was, yeah, I think she was. I know she was later, and I think she was then too.
And then Mizpah Presbyterian Church was there on the corner?
Yes, it was. And Fifi Baptist was across the street.
Did you attend either one of them?
No, we went to St. Gregory's
Where's St.
in
Gregory's?
St. Anne.
Okay.
And then later we transferred to St. Mary's, which was in Bridgeton.
So how long did you go to the Fifi school?
2 years.
Only 2 years? And you were having such fun there?
Right, but our parents wanted us to go to Catholic school. So we switched to St. Gregory's as soon as my sister was old enough that we could both go together, because we had to take the county bus.
Wow.
There weren't any school buses.
And you had to take a bus
Yes,
there?
and then we got off St. Gregory Lane in St. Anne and walked up several blocks to the school.
Wow. Did you have any older brothers or sisters?
No, I was the oldest. I had a younger sister and brother.
And then did the brother also go with you to school at St. Gregory's?
No, he was 9 years younger. So
Wow.
My mom started teaching. When I went to high school, she went back to teaching, and he went to school with her.
Where did she teach?
St. Peter's and St. Charles,
Really? What did she teach?
5th grade,
Oh, okay. In public or private school?
Catholic school. private
Oh,
school.
uh-huh. So did you graduate from, what school did you
I
graduate from?
graduated from Duchesne. I went 3 years to St. Peter's and St. Charles, St. Peter's High School.
Oh,
And then they built a new school, Duchesne, and I graduated from Duchesne. So it was farther out, I had to drive.
did you go with your mother then?
The first year, when I was a freshman, she taught at the grade school, and I was in the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then for 3 years, I was at the same school with her. And then we moved to Duchesne, and I drove and then dropped her off at the grade school
You were able to drive then?
when I was a senior.
Wow.
But there weren't any school buses to go out to Duchesne. It was out at the edge of town, St. Charles.
Uh-huh.
So I took my sister, and my mom, my brother, my sister, and two other.
You
Kids.
drove, you were the driver?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What kind of car did you have?
A 50 Mercury that my dad had fixed up for me.
So it was a big car, wasn't it?
It was. A stick shift.
Oh my, oh my. Did you drive, was it 16 or could you drive any earlier?
No, you could, no, it was 16.
Okay.
But I didn't start driving until I was a senior. I guess I was probably 17, because the first 3 years, like I said, we took the bus to St. Charles, and then we walked to the grade school, which is maybe 6 blocks or something.
Where
Did you
have to go to get your driver's license?
Ferguson.
Okay?
We took the test there and also got the license there.
I think I went there also,
Yeah.
come to think of
Really?
it.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Me too.
I guess they,
That was the only place, yeah, that I think that had.
I guess they didn't have many
don't think so.
offices.
I don't think so. Everybody I knew went there, so I suppose it was.
I flunked my driving test twice at that place
Did you?
because they had to parallel park on the street, and their street was inclined.
You're right, you're right.
So after that, I got smart. And I had a stick shift.
Yes.
I got smarter, and I went downtown where it was nice and flat down
Oh,
in St. Louis, and I borrowed a car that had an
Oh.
automatic.
Oh.
So I passed.
Good for you.
But you didn't have that trouble, did you?
No, I didn't make it the first time. I couldn't parallel park either.
Oh, really?
I was in Ferguson, but I practiced and practiced. In fact, when I learned to drive, I had to go to Mount Lebanon Cemetery.
Mount Lebanon
With
Cemetery.
my dad to drive every night because he said I couldn't hurt anybody there. So every night we went to drive so I could learn.
So your dad taught you to
He
drive?
did. Yeah.
Did the driver's license have your pictures on them at that time?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I remember when I would get mine, after being renewed, you'd look at it and you were so just terrified. They were just so terrible. The pictures were so
Yes,
terrible.
they were. Never had a good one, I don't say.
But now they're nice.
Oh, they're better, much better.
Yes, yes. I don't know if it's the photography improved or what. Now, did your sister also drive when she was old enough to drive?
She did.
Because you apparently started driving and you were doing quite well with it?
Yes, yes. She did drive some, but later she didn't drive. I don't know if she even drove before she was married or not, but she went to nurses training as soon as she got out of school.
Oh,
And became an RN, and then she got married shortly after that, and I think that's when she learned to drive. I don't think she drove before that.
now when you were in high school and going back and forth to Duchesne, did you have any part-time job that you did?
I did. I worked in Wellston,
You worked in Wellston?
Mhm.
What store?
Sally Ann Outlet Store.
Sally Ann, is that a beauty supply?
No, it was a regular clothing store. It was,
Oh.
on the corner of Hodemont, I think, and Easton, was a regular Sally Ann store. And then the outlet store where I suppose they sent everything they could sell in place off all the stores, because there were quite a few of those stores in the St. Louis area.
Now, why did you get a job in Wellston? Curious.
It was one of the few places that would hire kids out of school. So I got the job right away. I went in and asked them if they were hiring, and they were, so.
Just like that?
Yeah, it was very easy.
Well, now, was this when you were still in school or when you graduated?
Oh, no, it was when I was 16.
Oh, yeah, so you were still in school?
Oh, yeah.
So did you go like after
I
school?
did. I'd take the bus from St. Charles to Wellston, and then take the bus back home again. Because I wasn't driving then.
I see.
So.
And did you also work on Saturdays?
Oh, yes, yeah.
How was working in Wellston? What was it like?
It was good. It was good, because there weren't any shopping centers then. Northwest wasn't built yet, and I think Northland wasn't built until after I was out of school. So that would be the first one. That was the only place to shop unless we went to St. Charles. We did shop a lot in St. Charles. We had relatives there.
I
Because we went
see.
to school there, we did a lot of shopping there.
Wasn't there a Penny's in Wellston?
Oh, yeah, a big new Penny's when I was there.
And Central Hardware?
Yes, yes. It was one of the few shopping places to go if you didn't go downtown.
I see. It's hard, for me to fathom that, and yet I remember when I was in high school, people still went to Wellston.
Yes, yeah. It was a shopping mecca for quite a while. Quite a few stores.
Well, how long did you work there?
2 years till I graduated.
I see. And what kind of work did you do for Sally's Outlet?
As a salesperson, helping people with their purchases.
I see. When you graduated high school, what did you do then?
I went to work at St. John's Bank.
Oh, on the Rock
I
Road?
worked there for 48 years.
48, did you say?
Uh-huh.
Whoa, all right.
Was that the original
I
location?
worked at the main bank, yeah, in St. John.
Okay.
And what did your duties include?
When I retired, I was the risk management officer. I worked with fraud, with forgeries, tax levies, garnishments, subpoenas,
Wow.
that kind of thing.
But where did you start off?
In file department.
Oh, in the filing.
And then to bookkeeping department.
Did you ever get to be a bank teller?
No, no. I went from bookkeeper to management. I guess I was a supervisor, and then a manager, and then an officer.
That's interesting, because normally when I think of banks as a job, that's what you would think of.
You do, but I was always upstairs on the second floor, in the kind of the back room, back area. So I never was with the tellers.
I see. So you worked there full-time
Yes.
for 48 years?
I did.
Wow,
I did.
wow. Now, where were you living at this time?
On the Rock Road, when I first started at the bank.
Mhm.
Then we moved, because our house was bought out by Titletown,
Oh,
and we moved to Natural Bridge and Fifi. There was a subdivision called McNulty Manor.
McNulty
I
Manor.
wonder who that was named for.
What was it a house then, or?
Yes, it was a subdivision, a two-street subdivision, and there were new houses there, and my parents bought the house there. And we lived there until the house was bought out by the airport.
Oh, my.
So,
But, okay, so this was all while you were going to school?
no, when I started the bank, I'd already graduated and lived there until I got married, and then moved to farther north for a while. We built a house up by Bell Fountain.
When you got married, you had a house built by Bell Fountain?
No, close to Bell Fountain. It was on Redmond Road.
Oh,
close-
yeah.
Close to Bell Fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And, we built a house there and lived there quite a few years.
Now, where did you find this husband? At the bank?
No, I met him through somebody that worked at the bank. He was a plasterer and had race cars. And I was,
Race cars?
midget race cars.
Oh, really?
And I was big into racing. I really
You
liked racing.
were?
Oh, yeah, I really loved it. So,
What kind of racing?
stock cars and midgets.
How did you get interested in that?
A friend of mine, she was dating a fellow that drove race cars.
Here in St. Louis area?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Most Lake Hill, Speedway in St. Charles had
Oh,
Speedway.
uh-huh.
And Belleville, Illinois. So,
Uh-huh.
Then later, when my husband got midgets, and they raced them, he never drove. He had hired drivers.
Well, no, tell me, because I'm not familiar with this. What is a midget then?
But you know what the big championship cars look like the Indianapolis cars? You kind of familiar with?
Is it a two-seater racing car?
No, single seat.
Oh, a single seat.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a smaller variety of the car, of a big car, a championship car,
Oh,
just smaller.
I see.
Smaller engine and everything. Then we went quite a while around different areas, different states for a while. We towed a race car around.
Well, let's back up just a little bit. So where did you meet your husband? You were introduced by a friend?
Yes, a friend worked at the bank,
And what was your husband's name?
Chuck.
Chuck?
He was originally from Normandy.
Really?
Mhm.
From Normandy?
Yes.
So where was he living, in the Normandy area then when you
Yes.
met him?
Yes, and then his folks bought a house in Hazelwood just before we got married. Moved there, but yeah, he was from Normandy. He graduated from Normandy High School.
Really? That's where I graduated from.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, good. Many years after he did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's interesting. So when you, how long after you met him did you get married?
Oh, probably 4 or 5 years.
I see.
I think so.
And you worked at the bank all
I
during
did.
that time?
I did. I took a short leave of absence when we got married because he was working in North Carolina
Oh?
for, I can't think of the name of the company. Big insulation company. They did insulation on big breweries, new breweries that were being built.
Oh.
For great big coolers.
Uh-huh.
And when we got married, he was there. So I went there for a few weeks.
I
He
see.
was transferred someplace else, and I came back home again.
I see. And then you had your own house.
Yes, yeah. He built a house for us on Redmond Road.
How long did you live there?
About 10 years. About 10 years. And then he bought a greenhouse on Freeport Mill Road. There was 15 greenhouses.
Wow.
And he ran those.
Well, now he was interested in cars and also plants?
Oh, yes. And he was a plasterer by trade. He kept up his construction business, but he also then went into the greenhouse business.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Did you also share this interest?
Oh, yes, I always loved flowers, so.
So did you then have a business of plants?
Oh, yes, yeah, he did,
He did.
yes.
And you helped him, I guess.
Once in a while. Because I was still working. But yes, he had ended up with 15 greenhouses.
Wow.
He was bought out by,
Oh.
by the Highway 141, when they put that new extension.
Oh,
through.
really? Oh, uh-huh.
So, but he had it till that time. So it was good. It was good.
Did you have any children?
No children.
What did they do with all the greenhouse materials when you had to give up this land?
I suppose they tore them down. The highway took over. They couldn't move anything. So.
And you think he sold some of it?
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah. But the greenhouses, well, I don't think you can tear them down successfully.
I see.
So, I don't think so.
I see.
Anyhow,
So, after your land was bought out that time, then what did you do? Where did you go then?
we went back to my mom's house on Avery Lane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your mom had a house on Avery?
Yes, she bought that house after the airport bought the house on.
My goodness.
So,
Where on Avery was, let me ask you, was it close to the community center?
oh, no, it's right in the middle, from between Harmony Lane and Fifi Road, about right in the middle
Oh, okay.
of Avery Lane.
Is that house still there?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, was your mother still living there at the time?
Yes. She died a couple years after that.
I see. Now, what about your sister and brother? Where were they?
My sister's in a nursing home. She's been there for 27 years. She has MS.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And my brother and his wife lived in Carrollton until they were bought out.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then they moved to Hazelwood.
Oh, okay. So you and your husband lived on Avery in Bridgeton,
Yeah.
and you were still working during this time?
Oh, yes, yeah. He ran the greenhouses, and I was living with my mom. And then he died a couple of years ago.
Just recently?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
I see. So how long have you been retired from St. John's Bank?
7 years, I believe.
So what do you do with your time
Oh,
then?
my gosh.
Let us know. What do you do in your retirement?
Well, I do painting. I take decorative painting lessons and paint. And I run around a lot. A lot. And I go see my sister's nursing home a couple times a week.
Mhm.
Just, I keep busy with all, and I have a little garden, flowers.
Now, do you still live on Avery then?
Yes, yes.
I see. Do you do any activities with the community center?
No, I'm going to check into that. I kind of active with St. Anne's
Oh, really?
with their senior group.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
But the Bridgeton Community Center is very close to you.
it is. And my niece, when she lived with me, she's in a group home now. But she went up there almost every day for a while, so I was real familiar with it. Yeah.
They have a lot of activities for seniors.
I hear that.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of painting did you were talking about painting?
Oh, it's decorative painting.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Plates or?
no, it's all forms of painting. We do oils, and we do acrylic, we do watercolor, colored pencil. It's just different varieties, different mediums, depending what project we're doing. So,
And do you take lessons then from
Yes.
someone?
yes,
Who do you take your lessons from?
her name is Ellen, and she's in St. Peter's. So she's very, very good.
And you enjoy that?
Oh, yes, yeah. A friend of mine, Nancy, and I go out there to her house and take lessons. She has other students too,
Uh-huh.
but and there's conventions, we go to painting conventions.
A painting convention?
There's a Society of Decorative Painters, and they have people from all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's based here in the United States, and the conventions are always here, but there are different places throughout the United States.
Wow. Do they have things on exhibit
Oh, sure,
and,
yes.
and juried items?
No, not so much juried, but you can get different titles, like a certified painter, certified decorative painter, or a master decorative painter.
Oh, like degrees of,
Mhm.
I
And you have to
see.
pass it. Now that's juried. You have to pass a very rigorous test painting with that. But it's been around quite a while.
Wow.
And the headquarters are in Kansas, in Wichita.
Fascinating. I had no idea of all this. Now, we do have a local Bridgeton artist that's with our historical commission named Judy Repke, and she's going to be offering some advice the first Sunday in October at the Payne Gentry House. You might be interested in joining us. They'll have it outside in the front yard, hopefully a nice day, and we'll have painting materials, and you're welcome to bring your own. And what we'd like to do is just incorporate the painting, because one of our family residents, Mary Lee Payne, was an artist.
Oh, I remember hearing that,
Yes, and she went to Stevens College in Columbia, and we have several of her things in the house. So it's just kind of something that goes hand in hand with the family, and we are offering it to the public the first Sunday, and I hope you would maybe come up there and join us.
Oh, I like that.
Good.
Okay, first Sunday.
Yes,
Okay.
first Sunday in October. And getting back to the present now, talking to you, did your sister or brother, were they artistic at all?
No.
Because a lot of times several people in the family are.
No. None of us had much talent when it came to art. We paint with patterns, so.
Oh, I see.
That makes it much easier for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Now, you said you've been active with the St. Anne seniors.
Somewhat, yes.
Well, that's good.
They have some trips and things that have been on. That makes it nice.
Where did you go with them?
Lights down to Branson, to Texas,
Wow.
different places. No, Texas was with the Bank Travel Club.
So you still get together with people from the St. John's Bank?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. One of my best friends worked at the bank. She's retired now, too. So,
Where does she live?
in Woodson Terrace.
Okay. Now, you said the person that suggested your name to us, because Joe and I have never met you before, is Alice Schaffner
Yes.
Robbins. Alice Robbins Schaffner. Yes. We had a delightful interview with her several months ago. And how did you know her?
She is a friend of my neighbor next door, a good friend. One of my best friends lives next door, and she's a good friend of hers.
I see.
So I met her through my best friend.
Okay. All right. Well, we have done many interviews, and Alice had a few surprises for us. And you know, truthfully, her home, her mother and father's land was bought out as well. This sounds like something you can really relate to, but their land, where their house was also bought out.
That's what she had told me.
Yeah, for the highway.
Right. Yes.
And here you had, what, two places that were bought out.
Yes.
That's very interesting. I think if you've never gone through that, it's hard to imagine that you have to get up and leave.
Oh, I think so, because everything you think is going to be there forever is gone, torn down. So makes a difference.
Yes, it sure does. Tell us about St. John's Bank. Were there any other Bridgeton residents do you know of that worked there?
Yes, but I can't think.
That's all right.
Yeah, but yes, there was. And then, of course, after we got the Bridgeton location, there were quite a few, I think, that lived around this area. But I always worked at the main bank.
On St. Charles Rock Road,
in
yes.
St. John, yes.
Mm-hmm. So after, when you were working and everything, then where did you shop? Did you continue to go into Wellston, or did you
No.
find other places?
Oh, yeah, other places. The different malls.
By then the malls started
Oh,
happening.
right, yes. Yeah.
And which one was the one you went to?
I was between Northland and Northwest for a while, and then as they moved out to Chesterfield in West County.
Well, Northwest Plaza was built, what, in the 60s, I think.
I think you're right, I think it was.
Did you watch that being built?
Oh, yes, yes. I remember when it used to be a dairy farm.
Really?
And when my uncle had this was when I was small, had a garage there.
A garage?
On the corner of 80 and Rock Road.
Oh,
During the Second World War. when we first moved here, he had a garage there. So we're always familiar with that area because it was, you know, right close to our house, plus they lived right down there. So we were back and forth through there a lot, that area.
Were you surprised at the magnitude that Northwest Plaza, you know, turned into?
Oh, sure. It was so different, you know, when he went from a farm to a big shopping center. And then it was so close, that was even better. So we enjoyed that a lot.
What do you remember about that? Anything in particular?
About what?
Northwest Plaza?
No, there were some nice shops there. I almost liked it better when it was open,
I see.
I think.
That's what everybody says.
I think so. It just was a different feeling, different shopping, different experience, I think. Yeah.
Do you remember going up to any concerts in the evenings in the summer? By the fountain or anything?
No, I don't.
I think they had music there
I
sometimes.
think you're probably right, but I sure don't remember. I don't think I went. Don't remember.
Well, what did you think about when they started building up Earth City? Were you surprised to hear about that?
A little. I was more surprised that they built it when I thought it was a floodplain. That they would take the chance of building there.
Right.
But seems to work.
Yes. Is there anything else that you can remember about Bridgeton growing up that you can share with us?
Not at the moment.
All righty. Well, we've enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for meeting with us today.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.